Guys, hey guys, welcome to discuss an introduction to Python. My name is Mariam and I'm going to be facilitating this course. What is Python? Python is a programming language. And what is programming? Programming is a way to set a task for your computer. What do I mean by this? Instructing your computer to perform a particular task is known as programming. So a task can be as simple as a simple arithmetic operation, like you can tell your computer to add two numbers together, and it can be as complex as a web application, something like that. So how do we communicate to our computer? We communicate to our computer through this programming language, because we definitely cannot speak English or our local language to our computer, because your computer doesn't understand human language. So we need to speak to a computer through a programming language. And the same way we have so many languages as humans, the computer also has different languages that it can understand. One of these languages is Python. And why do we choose Python? Python is actually open source, and it was built technically for people that don't have a technical background. People So you don't have to be a computer science student to be able to learn Python. It has an easy syntax, which makes it stand out among other programming languages. What are the uses of Python? What can we use Python programming? What can we use it to do? We can use Python programming. We can use it to build web applications like Instagram. Instagram is a company that uses Python to build their web application. We can also use Python to build machine learning algorithms, like your Facebook uses machine learning to suggest friends you may know to you. Also, your voice and speech recognition in Google also suggesting pages for you. When you want to browse on your Google and you type in what is, it suggests the next word for you. That uses machine learning. Also, if you use Amazon very well, if you type in a book, it also gives you recommended books for you to read. That was also built by Python through machine learning. We can also use Python to do data science and data analysis. We can visualize data and draw insights from it. We can also use Python to build software applications. Now, enough about the introduction. How do we write Python programs? For you to write a Python program, you need an environment. You cannot just go to your Microsoft Word or any application on your computer and start writing a Python program. For any programming language, you need an environment that understands that language and will interpret it and translate it to the computer for your computer to be able to carry out whatever task you instruct it to do. So for Python, we have many IDEs. What do I mean by IDE? An IDE is an integrated development environment. It's a software application that provides comprehensive facilities to computer programmers for software development. So normally an IDE will consist of a source code editor where you can write your code. It builds automation tools, and it has a debugger so that when you run your code, it will tell you if there's an error in your code or not. That's what an IDE means. So for Python, there are lots of options that we can use. We can actually download Python itself and write our code in the IDE. We can also use PyCharm. PyCharm is a very popular IDE that was developed for Python programmers. We can also use Anaconda. Anaconda is also a very popular IDE that has a very popular application that has different types of IDE built in it that you can use to write Python codes. But for this course, you can also use text editors like Sublime Text, VS Code to write your Python codes. But for this course, we are going to be using Google Collaboratory because this course is mainly for data science and machine learning. Why are we choosing Google Collaboratory? Google Collaboratory was built by Google, and it's built on cloud, meaning that you don't have to download or install anything to get started. Let's look at Google Collaboratory and see what it looks like. To get started on Google Collaboratory, you need some things. You need to have a Gmail account and you need to have a Google Drive account. So on your PC, on any web browser that you are using, in my own case, I'm using the Mozilla Firefox, but you can use Google Chrome or any other browser. You simply type Google Collab, and then it takes you to this page. If you are signed in on your Gmail in your Google Collab, then it will take you to a collaboratory environment. Otherwise, it will pop up a sign in for you to input your email and your password. If you don't have a Google Drive account and a Gmail, you would need to open one for you to be able to use Google Collaboratory. And this is what a Google Collaboratory environment looks like. Because I am already signed in, it takes me to my collaboratory notebook. Now, let me take you through some of these features. Here you have your file icon where you can create a new notebook. You can create a new notebook by clicking on this new notebook. It takes you to another page and it creates a new notebook for you. And I must mention that you have to be connected to an internet before you'll be able to work with your Google Collaboratory. So it has created a new notebook for me, and this notebook is named Untitled 1, but I don't like that name, so I want to rename it. You simply click on the notebook and then you edit it and name it whatever you want to name. In my own case, I'm naming it Python Intro. Then you click on any place here and it's going to save your notebook, and you can see that it has reflected here as well. So your new notebook is named Python Intro. Now you can see the file icon. You can also, apart from the fact that you can create a new notebook, you can also open an existing notebook that you've worked on before on your Google Colab. If you click on open notebook here, it will pop up your notebooks and you can select any notebook you want to open from there. You can also upload a notebook. If you have a notebook that you downloaded from somewhere else and you want to upload it to your Google Colab, you simply click on upload notebook and it will pop up your PC, and then you can select where the notebook is on your system and it would open it for you. You can also rename your notebook manually by clicking on this. You can move to trash by deleting. You can delete and move to trash. You can save a copy in your drive. Actually, all your notebooks are automatically saved in your Google Drive account, so you can save manually like this here too. You can also save a copy in GitHub. GitHub is an application that is used for collaboration among software developers, among programmers. We'll talk about that much later. You can also save manually, but you don't have to bother about coming here to save all the time. Your documents are automatically saved as you run your codes. You can also download your notebook and have a copy in your system. You can download as IPNB or download as .py. In whichever case, you have no problems at all. .py is just an extension for a Python file, and .ipmb shows that it is a Python notebook. It's a notebook file. That's the difference between IPMB and .py. You can also edit your cells. This is what we call a cell. This space here where you write your codes is what we call a cell. You can edit your cells here and look at the options here. You can view table of content, notebook info, and others here. You can insert code cell. If you click on this, insert code cell, it adds another cell for you. Code cell. We have majorly two types of cells. You have a code cell and you have a text cell. This is a shortcut to that. Instead of having to come to insert here, you can simply click on this plus code icon to add another code cell for you, or you click on plus text. If you click on plus text icon, it adds a cell that you can write a text. Yeah. So also your runtime. This run all means you want to execute all your cells. That is what run all means. If you want to execute only this cell, you just click on this play icon and then the Python interpreter would go through everything you have in this cell and to give you an output. For example, if I'm writing something like this, we'll talk about this later. I just want to point out how the run works. If I click on this, you can see it's saying allocating, so it has to be connected before your cell will be able to run. My network is pretty bad here. So you can see this is the output of this cell. So whatever you have in here, when you click on this cell, it will give you an output. Also, you have tools and help icons. You would see more on that. You can also share your files. You can share with friends. You can copy the links and share. My network is pretty bad. Sorry about that. So share with people. You can add groups of people that you want to share your notebook with, and you can get a link. You can click on copy link, and then it will give you a link for you to share your notebook. Then when you look at this side here, we have some extra features. We have filter code snippets here. Filter code snippets, it's simply some functions that have been written for you for easy use. Instead of you having to write the whole functions from scratch, there are some functions that you can easily use here. For example, I can see something like visualization, bar plot in Atlas. If I want to plot a bar plot, I can click on this, and then there's a code down here. So you can see visualization. The one I selected is what is showing here. So if you click on insert, it will insert the code snippet in one of the cells here. So if I run this code, this is just a shortcut to draw a bar plot. So instead of me having to write the code, don't worry about this. I know this looks ambiguous and you'll be like, what the hell is this? But then we are not talking about codes yet. I'm just showing you around Google Laboratory to show you some of the interesting features it has. So we'll talk more. You'll get to understand what we mean by codes later on. So you can also delete your cells with this icon. If I click on this, the cell gets deleted. Also, you can connect to file, because most of the time you'll be working with files from your PC, from your Google Drive. In either ways, you have to click on this icon here, file browser icon. So if the file is on your PC, you click on this icon. It will pop up your computer, and then you can select where the file is, and you open it, and you get to see the file here. In my own case, I can open a file. I'm opening an Excel file that contains a data set, and then it says reminder, uploaded files will get deleted when the runtime is recycled. It means that when you upload a file here and then you close this notebook, or you lose internet connection for a while, when you reconnect again, you don't see the file again. You have to reconnect to that file. So each time you recycle your runtime, the files you upload get deleted. You can also connect to a file on your Google Drive by clicking on this icon here. When you click on this icon, it will mount your Google Drive. So what if the file is on your Google Drive, you can connect to it after you mount it here. So that is pretty much about Google Lab. You get more used to it when we start writing our codes. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more related content. Thank you.